Trust isn't the first casualty of collapse. It's the weapon. The person offering you a warm cup of coffee when the grid is dead? He's not being kind. He's counting your ammo. The world doesn't end in fire and screams. It ends with the scrape of a chair as your friend sits at your table, smiling, while he decides exactly how to take everything you own. The greatest threat isn't the radiation, or the hunger, or the cold. It's the person you thought you knew, the face you see every day. I'm going to show you the 5 faces of betrayal, and the one you'll mistake for a savior every single time. To stay alive, you have to stop being a neighbor and start being a mind hunter. The new social contract, a 48-hour audit. When the systems we rely on evaporate, we don't just lose power and water. We lose the shared fiction of polite society. The rules revert. We become primal, territorial, and deeply suspicious. Your neighbor is no longer the man who waves on his way to work. He's a direct competitor for finite resources. Starvation doesn't make people evil. It just reveals who they always were, sanding away the veneer of civility. Your survival, and the survival of your family, will depend entirely on your ability to profile everyone you meet, instantly and accurately. You are no longer a citizen, a friend, or a coworker. You are a behavioral analyst, and your primary job in the first 48 hours is to conduct a silent, psychological audit of everyone in your sphere. Your first test is identifying the most dangerous predator of all, the one who looks, acts, and sounds like a friend. The savior, the predator in shepherd's clothing. The first and most dangerous archetype you will face is not the man with the gun. It is the man with the clipboard. I call him the savior. This is the smiling predator, the friendly organizer, the one who steps up immediately to form a neighborhood watch, coordinate resources, and build a community. He looks like a leader. He sounds like hope. But his helpfulness is a mask, and his community is a trap. He doesn't want to steal your supplies. He wants to manage them. He wants you to give them to him willingly, for the good of the group. He is the budding tyrant who craves control above all else. He operates on the principle of psychological debt and information dominance. He'll give you something small, something that costs him little but feels significant to you. A little food, a kind word, a blanket. This activates a deep human need for reciprocity. You feel indebted, you feel safe. He'll be the first to suggest pooling resources, a community pantry where he, of course, will be the gatekeeper. He'll frame it as fairness and efficiency, but it's a power grab. Once he controls the food, he controls the people. His true weapon is reconnaissance. He will ask too many questions, but always frame them as concern. How are you holding up? How much food do you have left? Do you have any medical needs for your children? Do you have any skills, perhaps in first aid or engineering? This isn't empathy, it's a resource inventory. He is building a detailed database of your assets and your weaknesses. He will then isolate individuals, pulling them aside for private chats to sow seeds of doubt about others. I'm worried about Bill. He seems to be hoarding, doesn't he? Positioning himself as the only rational, trustworthy center of gravity. It's a classic divide-and-conquer strategy. Handling him is a chess match, not a fist fight. You must never confront him publicly. He has already won the group's trust, and he will skillfully paint you as paranoid, selfish, and a threat to the new community. You defeat him with information control. You must become a gray man. You cooperate, but you remain vague. You offer nothing specific. We have enough for a little while, you say. I'm not a doctor, but I can wrap a bandage. You protect your true inventory. You never reveal your most valuable skills, and you slowly, quietly build alliances with others who see the cracks in his facade. You must feed him disinformation. Let him find a small decoy stash of supplies, making him believe he's taken your primary store, which allows you to protect your real cash. The savior doesn't need violence. He has control. And once everyone depends on him, he owns you, your supplies, and your future. He is the most dangerous because by the time you realize you're in his cage, he has already locked the door and convinced you it was your idea. But while the savior poisons the well from within, another threat simply wants to watch it all burn. He isn't plotting. He's shattered. The ghost. The man with nothing left. The second archetype is the ghost. This is the man who has lost everything. His family, his home, his future. He is standing in the ruins of his life, and his eyes are empty. Not sad, not angry, just gone. He is the most unpredictable variable in any crisis. Why? Because the human consequence engine has been completely broken. The part of his brain that calculates, if I do X, then Y will happen, has been permanently short-circuited by profound trauma. He doesn't care about tomorrow, because for him, tomorrow doesn't exist. He is operating purely on a traumatized lizard brain. You will recognize the ghost not by his aggression, but by his stillness, followed by sudden volcanic eruptions of rage over the most trivial matters. He might snap and attack you for looking at him wrong, or burn down a shelter for no logical reason. His behavior is erratic, flipping from catatonic calm to screaming mania in a second. He will take reckless, pointless risks, seemingly ignoring his own survival, because he is no longer invested in it. He might isolate himself, not to plan but to brood, staring into a fire like he's rehearsing his final act. He is a psychological black hole. Your strategy for the ghost is not engagement. It is containment and distance. You cannot fix a shattered mind with logic. You cannot talk him down in the traditional sense. Attempting to play therapist will only make you a target for his directionless despair and rage. Do not challenge him, do not make promises, and do not try to fix him. You are not equipped, and he is not interested. If you are forced to interact, use a calm, monotone voice and simple, non-threatening commands. But if this person is already inside your group when they snap, the situation is critical. You must isolate him from weapons and from the group's weak points. This is not about empathy, it's about triage. If he becomes a direct, active threat to your group's physical safety, he must be treated like a natural disaster, a wildfire to be contained, or a rabid animal to be put down. It is a terrible choice, but you cannot let one man's void consume you all. The ghost is a walking bomb, but he's an unpredictable one. The next type, he is a guided missile. He knows exactly who he is, and he's been waiting for this moment his entire life. The Warlord, the man who thrives on chaos. The third archetype is the Warlord. This isn't just a thug. This is the ex-military, the former gang leader, the ex-cop with a god complex, or simply the natural-born predator who is always bored by society's rules. What matters is this: he is comfortable with violence. He understands it. He speaks it as a first language, and he will use it strategically to achieve his goals. While everyone else is panicking, he is thriving. Chaos is his native habitat. He sees the collapse not as an end, but as a long-overdue promotion. He is dangerous because he is violent, yes, but he is lethal because he is strategic. He doesn't just want your can of beans, he wants your entire supply chain. He doesn't want to just rob you, he wants to conquer you, absorb your group, and take your skills as his own. He is an empire builder in a world of scavengers. You will spot him by his physical tells. He moves with an economy of motion. His eyes constantly scan his environment for exits, angles, and threats. He projects absolute confidence, not bravado. While you are shaking, he is calculating. He stays calm under pressure, not out of bravery, but out of experience. He's been here before, in one form or another. Handling the Warlord requires a deep understanding of power dynamics. You must never bluff him. He can smell fear and insincerity, and he will see through your posturing in an instant, exploiting that weakness ruthlessly. Direct confrontation is a last resort, and one you will likely lose unless you have overwhelming, pre-planned force. Your best strategy is to project utility without projecting weakness. Be useful to him, but not subservient. Offer a specific high-value skill, water purification, radio operation, medical sutures, but in exchange for a specific, non-negotiable security guarantee. Frame it as a mutually beneficial transaction, not a plea. Establish hard boundaries early, not with verbal threats, but with demonstrated competence. Secure defenses, disciplined group members, and a clear, visible willingness to defend yourself. Make it clear that attacking you will cost him more in resources and manpower than he's willing to pay. These people respect strength, but they also respect efficiency. Be an asset too valuable to lose and a target too costly to take. But always remember, his weakness is his ego. He overestimates his own strength and underestimates the quiet, prepared gray man. While he's busy building his throne, you're busy building your escape route. The believer, the man who dies for his principles. But there is a fourth type, one the survival guides always forget, and he might be the one who gets you all killed. I call him the zealous believer. This isn't a predator. This is the person who clings so tightly to the old world rules or a new, rigid ideology that he cannot adapt. He's the one who insists on fair share distribution when your supplies are down to 3%. He's the one who refuses to use force to defend the compound, because we're better than them. He's the one who argues that everyone deserves a vote on critical, time-sensitive decisions, like whether to amputate a gangrenous leg. He is lethal not because he is evil, but because he is rigid. He replaces practical survival with moral purity. In a world that demands brutal, pragmatic choices, his idealism is a suicide pact. He is suffering from a terminal case of normalcy bias, the cognitive dissonance that makes him believe the old rules still apply. He will veto the hard decisions. He will argue that you should hide your weapons rather than carry them. He will, with the very best of intentions, open the gate to a stranger because everyone deserves a chance, dooming you all. The warlord will kill you for your food, but the zealous believer will get you and your entire group killed for his principles. He is the weak link that shatters the whole chain, a testament to the fact that in a crisis, good intentions are just a pathway to the grave. You must handle him by marginalizing his influence, never putting him in a position of critical authority, and, if necessary, overriding his protests to ensure the group's survival. He is a moral anchor that will drown you all. The Parasite, the weaponized Whiner. The fifth and most insidious threat is the Parasite. This person isn't a predator. They are not violent, not overtly controlling, and not broken. They are simply a drain. This is the chronic complainer, the person who is always cold, always hungry, always sick. They avoid work, they second-guess every decision, and they contribute nothing but morale-destroying negativity. They are a black hole for resources and time. In the old world, they were just annoying. In the new world, they are a lethal liability. The Parasite's method is weaponized incompetence and emotional blackmail. They will conveniently sprain an ankle when it's time for a guard shift. They will not know how to purify water, forcing someone else to do it for them. They will consume a full ration while producing zero in return, all while complaining that the ration isn't enough. Their constant whining is not just annoying. It's a form of psychological warfare that erodes group cohesion. They make everyone else work harder, eat less, and feel worse. They are the human equivalent of a slow leak in a life raft. You cannot coddle the Parasite. You cannot hope they will change. You must enforce a rigid, non-negotiable rule. Those who do not work do not eat. This is not cruelty. It is mathematics. Every calorie they consume without contributing is a calorie stolen from someone who is. You assign them the simplest, non-critical tasks. If they refuse, they are cut off from community resources. They will accuse you of being a monster. They will try to turn others against you. But the group's survival depends on excising them. They are a luxury no one can afford, and their presence is a direct threat to the group's ability to endure. You must be willing to make the hard call and banish them, or they will bleed you dry from the inside out. The Fortress of Perception, your new reality. Recognizing these 5 faces is just the diagnosis. Now, you need the antidote. It begins with your 48-hour audit, which is not a passive activity. It is an active test. You must create small, controlled stress tests. Observe people during the first distribution of food. Watch for the quickness of their hands, the scanning of their eyes, the false generosity of someone who offers their portion while knowing they have a private stash. Watch them when the first distant gunshot is heard. Who freezes? Who runs toward the sound? Who hides? Who instinctively reaches for a weapon? This audit extends to your physical security. Your survival is your secret. You must practice gray man theory. You must blend in, appearing no more or less prepared than anyone else. Your stockpile is not a community asset. It's a strategic reserve. You secure it through deceptive simplicity and layered defenses. This means you never carry your best gear in public. You store critical items in multiple, camouflaged, and hidden locations. You use decoys. Your real food is in Mylar bags inside waterproof buckets buried under a woodpile, while you let people see a disappointing pantry with just a few cans. Your medical kit looks like a bag of old rags. Your water filter is hidden inside a broken radio. This extends to information warfare. You must actively plant disinformation. Complain about your own lack of food. Talk about how you wish you had prepared more. If the savior asks about your skills, tell him you were in accounting, not combat medicine. Make yourself appear to be a low-value, high-liability target. A fortress isn't just a wall, it's a perception. It's about making a predator look at you and decide the cost of the assault is not worth the prize. Your greatest weapon is not your rifle. It's the lie you tell the man holding one. You are no longer a citizen. You are a profiler. You are a fortress. These archetypes, the savior, the ghost, the warlord, the believer, and the parasite, they are not monsters. They are what's left of us when the thin veneer of civilization is sandblasted away by fear and starvation. Your survival will not be determined by your rifle, but by your ability to see the mind behind the eyes. It will be decided by your skill in reading the patterns of human behavior before the knife is drawn. The new world is a psychological battlefield, and who you choose to trust is the only decision that truly matters. Look around you right now. Think about your neighbors, your coworkers, even your friends. Which one are they? Tell me in the comments what subtle sign you've seen in your normal life that tells you someone would break bad or break good. The real hunt has already begun.